Hey everybody, it's Rachel with Rachel Q Stitches and welcome to my channel. Today is Tuesday, March 29th, 2022, and this is FlossTube number 56. This is a channel mostly about cross stitch, although I do talk about other stitchy things toward the end. This is kind of a new thing because if you've been watching me since the beginning, you'll know that mostly I talk about cross stitch. Anyway, so if you're new here, thank you so much for stopping by. I really appreciate it. If you are a returner, I appreciate that too. Thank you so much for stopping by every week to visit with me and see what it is that I'm stitching. So, what have I been stitching this week? Not a whole lot. Not a whole lot at all. I had back issues, and so when I take medicine for my back, I can't see straight. So I didn't get a whole lot done, but I did get a little bit, and I'm going to show that here today. So the first thing I worked on, not the first thing, I don't go in any particular order. I just pile them up on the table when I'm done with them, and that's how I show them to you guys. So first thing I'm going to show you is the Chronicle of Narnia's Stitch Along. This is through the Stitching Book Club. The club is closed. The last clue has been released, and so it is now closed, and I do not think this pattern will be available anymore. So I have been working on part 2, and I'm hoping to finish that this week. Like I said, part 3 has already been released, and I just need to finish part 2 and work on this. So here it is right here. This is the Chronicles of Narnia. This was first, this is really Lion, Witch, and Wardrobe. So this was part 1. This is part 2 with these coming down, and then the center part, which has been released, is part 3. And sorry, my son's dog is at the door. We'll see. See if he figures out how to open it. So anyway, so this is what I've gotten done. Again, like I said, when she originally released the colors, I was like, what are you doing? But I am in love with these colors. So this is it right here. So I'll probably finish this right here and this right here today, and then I'll put it away until next week to work on it. So that is the Chronicles of Narnia. Next is another stitch along that I'm doing. This one is free. It is by Jeanette Douglas. It is on her website and through her Facebook group. No, I don't think it's really her group. There are 2 Facebook groups that she posts in. And so this is available on her website the first of every month. It is a year of bouquets. These are bouquets that she designed for classes in 2020, and like we know, 2020 didn't happen, and so she put them all together on one big piece and is releasing them as a stitch along. So this is the whole thing right here. I need to finish that white border. So this month I finished March, and I finished the bottom border for the first row. And so this is January, February, and March is right here. I am using Jeanette's DMC conversion that she did. That is available on the info chart, the first chart that was, not chart, but the instructions for the stitch along. So that is it right there. I really was expecting, you know, like some kind of shamrocks or something very St. Patrick-y. And so I'm really glad that she just went with tulips. They're so pretty. I love the colors. So that is it right there. From what I understand, Jeanette Douglas, normally, you know, when she does a class, she puts out the kits. So she, after some of us in the group were like, hey, is there going to be a DMC conversion? She went ahead and did all that for us. So hey, that is stitched on a 28 count coffee Lugana, and Narnia is stitched on a 14 count opal from Hobby Lobby, Adam white. So these next 2 pieces are my Erica Michael stitch along blocks. If you want to know a little bit more about it, I kind of talked a little bit more about it last video. She did re-release the patterns, and Shelley Proverbs3122 got it, and she said it's not the patterns that she released. What she did was she released the cover, and I didn't get an answer back, so I'm not sure if it is the letters for the wording for each stitch. So I'm not sure exactly what it is. I didn't get it. So I don't think I will be getting, because I was really hoping it was all the patterns, but they're not in there. You still have to go to the Rainbow Gallery website where they are free. So there's that. So I did finish the queen block. Y'all, I don't think I showed this to y'all last week. Anyway, there it is right there. I think I did. So there's a queen block. There she is. And then P. Then I did the R. These are all on 28 count. And this piece right here, I dyed in some tan Rit dye. And this is the R block. And I have to tell you, when I was doing this, I kept looking at it going, these colors are so 90. Dusty rose and forest green. And then the radish came out and I understood where I was going with that. But that is the R block. And basically the stitch is the running stitch, like the easiest stitch out there. So that is this block right here. So which means I need to start S with April 1st coming up. And so that's my stitching. So on to plans. The letter S, I dyed some fabric. I used a royal blue Rit dye, and I dyed 2 pieces of fabric in it. The one I'm going to show you next, which is I'm using for the letter S in this stitch along. This is how it came out. I think it came out really, really pretty. I left it in, like, I stuck it in, and when the blue was all over it, I took it out. And then I dried it, and I didn't get a chance to iron them right here. And then this I did for this piece that I won off of Laura Stitching by the Shore. And this is what I dyed for it. Right here, this piece. And it needs to be ironed. This one I left in for 30 seconds. And the way I dry my fabric is I take them and I put them in an old towel and I roll them up in the towel and I just kind of squish down on it and then I unroll it. And I find it dries faster, and it also gives it a slight, you can see like a slight modeling, you know, and I like that. It's not heavy, but it's enough to not be a solid color. So that is what I'm stitching this on. I just need to kit it up, and I'll probably start it in May. My birthday's in May, and so I think instead of doing Mania where you do start every day, I have a plan. My birthday's May 30th, so it's essentially the second to last day of the month. And so I kind of have some plans of what I'm going to do for that. So more on that later. Anyway, so that was my dyeing. And then after I dyed it, I forgot that I also want a chart on Stitchin' Mommy's channel. And it was and It's So Emma, it was part of the Stitch Quarterly, and it was the Rudolph chart. I can't think of what it's called, and I didn't bring it with me. I think I showed y'all last week. And so I meant to dye that also blue, and so I think I'm gonna make it a little bit lighter. I think I used a teaspoon of that blue. I have it written down. And so I'm gonna make it a little bit lighter. And I'm gonna try to get some opal fabric and dye that and see what happens for Rudolph. So that is my plans for dyeing some more. I really enjoyed it, and I have a ton of white Aida and some even weave that I want to dye. So that's what I'm doing next. Okay, also plans. It is April coming up, which means Americana April. If y'all remember last year I did this, and I started a piece that I never finished by Calico Confectionery, and I don't have the chart with me, but this is it right here. All I have left to do is these the top row of, what are those things called? Flags? Can't think what they're called. Anyway, and then the wording at the top that says the United States of America and then land. And I'm done. That's all I have to do. That's it. So my goal is to finish this in April, hopefully. That was my goal last year. I had plans last year, y'all. I was going to have 3 of them done. And there's another one that I bought when I bought this from Calico Confectionery. And when I finish this, I'm going to start it. I want to have an America piece always in the rotation. So that's what that will be. So that is right here. I still love it. I just love it so much. Yeah. And this is a piece of, I think it's a 16 count Aida that a coffee tea dyed. So that's it right there. So this is in my plans for April. So anyhow. All right, on to my daily challenges. My daily challenges are, for 5 days a week, it is my challenge to crochet a granny square, to piece a English paper piecing flower and to sew a 9 patch. The granny squares are full skeins that I bought on clearance at Walmart. And so I'm using the same 4 colors. The EPP flowers, I can't get my words out, are flowers that I had traded and started making for a quilt that I was making with the blocks that I traded. And the 9 patches are 5-inch squares that my mom traded back in the 90s through the Prodigy message board before the internet was a thing. Okay. So first we'll work on my English paper piecing since I'm having trouble saying what these are. So these are my flowers. These are the flowers that are going to go in between. They're the what I call the stepping stones of the flower garden, grandmother's flower garden. So that's what these are. These are all made. The grays are actually fat quarters that I bought at a thrift store when we lived in Tennessee. Not thrift store, quilt store. And they would always have fat quarters for like $1. And so I'd grab them. These are some fabrics that were given to me by a lady who made nursing gowns. And she would give me all her scraps, which, you know, clothing makers, they'll give you a scrap that's like 8 inches because they can't use it for anything. Anyway, so that's what some of these are. Some of these are just those cheap fat quarters that I would buy at that store. So here's my 5. I did work hard to finish them because I have my back issues and I couldn't sew. Anyway, here's my granny squares. I will be trimming these in, weaving these ends in as soon as I get me a needle. I haven't gone shopping, y'all. I do plan on outlining these in black. One more row in black. I do a join as you go, so that's what I'll do in black when I get a little bit more done. So that's these. And I try to just be random when I sew them. I don't try to think too much about, you know, oh, I have so many with yellow on the ends, and because they will be black around them, so it really won't matter how many of the 3rd row there is. And now for the 9 patches. So these are my 9 patches. Like I said, y'all, these are from the 90s. And I figured that if I do 4 of these across and 5 down, it'll give me a quilt that is approximately 58 by, y'all, I can't do 60 something, 64. Yes. So that's 1. So I have 10. So I just need 10 more. So that's 20 that I need, and I can have a quilt top. And then I did find some lighter fabrics and put them all aside. And my next batch of 9 patches a day will be your traditional light and dark. So these are, and that's them right there. And that is all of my stitching, sewing, needle and thread crafts that I did. I do have a little bit of haul. I posted a video last Thursday about my winnings for the winter cross stitch camp. I showed everything that I got, and thank you so much for those of you who watched and who commented. I was really excited. I've never won a major award before. So part of that major award was a $50 gift card for ColoradoCrossStitcher.com. And so I immediately went, placed an order, and she was so fast with her shipping. She got it out the day I placed my order, and it came in yesterday. The post office held it an extra day. So anyway, so I went in there hoping to get the new Blackbird design book, but they were sold out. So I was so sad. So I ordered the piece that I am going to do for my dad's parents. You'll know that I'm working on a piece for my mom's parents, and this is the piece that I'm going to do for my dad's parents. My grandfather was in the Navy, and he and my grandmother were both part of the, I don't know, some secret society for people that have to do with the water. Sorry, don't know the name of it, but anyway. So this is what I got, this because of the ship and the sentiment behind it. We live in hope that they will return, and my grandfather did return, and he retired from the Navy in 1971, I believe. He retired from the Navy, and then he went to work for the post office, and then he retired from the post office in the 90s, 80s. Don't quote me on things. So right here next to the house, instead of this little thing, I found a mailbox that I'm going to put. And then somewhere else, I do want to stitch an American flag, but I'm not quite sure where. So anyway, so this is what I'm going to do for them. And right here where it says Chesapeake Bay and Barb Adams, I'm going to put Jordan. I was a Jordan. So that's my grandfather's last name, my dad's last name, and then Schmidt. My grandmother was a Schmidt. So that's what I'm going to do there. And then I'm going to put the year they were married here. My grandparents were divorced in the 60s, but they, you know, they had 3 sons. And then I came along, my brother and all my cousins. So I will put the year they were married here. And so this is the piece I'm going to do for my dad's family as soon as I'm done with my mom's family. So that's it right there. And this chart does have a smaller one on the back side, which I am going to be doing samplers for each of my maternal side. So my mom, her mom, and my grandmother's mom. And then eventually I'll do one for my dad's mom, and her grandmother. Since I do have records of those. But I do want to do one for my dad and my 2 grandfathers. Actually, my step-grandfather was in the military too. But anyway, I'm going to use this for my grandfather's piece since he was in the Navy. So 2 for 1. Can't beat it. Okay, then I got Eleanor Rigby. But I am probably going to do this side because it's so pretty. And I'll probably use this for one of my grandmother pieces. I haven't decided which one yet, but that's what I'll use. And then I got, you know, because I didn't, if you watched my haul video, you'll see that I got a lot of red samplers. But since I don't have a lot, I need one more. So I got this one. And this is Catherington, 1882. So pretty. I like the letters in this one. Anyway. And then I had like $48 worth of stuff. And so I needed to add something because the gift card did not cover shipping. So I added this one. And I've always loved this Christmas hymn, Christmas bells. I heard the bells on Christmas Day. Their old familiar carols play. Wild and sweet the words repeat. Peace on earth, goodwill to men. And I have always loved this piece. This song. In fact, every year around Christmas time, I post it on my Facebook page because I love it. It's so pretty. I don't know how, this thing is pretty big. It's 200 by 200. I just noticed that it's awfully thick. So I got this one. So that is it. That is my haul. My son is blowing up my phone with text. He's in the other room, so I guess he doesn't want to disturb me. So he's just blowing up my phone with text. If you can see my phone, it's like, anyway, I do have my phone on Do Not Disturb, but my kids and my husband are allowed to break through with that. But anyway, so that's all I have. Like I said, I didn't get a whole lot of stitching done because of my back issues. I do take muscle relaxers, and when I take a muscle relaxer, I need about a full 24 hours before I feel normal. But hey, it makes my back stop hurting for a good while. So I had lost something, and it was in my little, I have a little miniature dresser as an end table, and I couldn't find it. It was in there. I know it was in there. It was an envelope. It had some cash in it, and I was just freaking out. I cleaned, y'all. I cleaned under my bed, y'all. Clean under your beds. I mean, I vacuum and stuff, but you know, the vacuum pushes things. So I had to clean under my bed, and then I found some things that we stored under there. I was on the floor. Being on the floor at this age with back issues is not wise. I got up. I was so sore. My son, who's 6'4", has a wingspan of whatever a 6'4" person has. Walked in there, opened the drawer, reached in the back behind the drawer, and pulled out my envelope. I'm like, did you hide it there? I think you hid it there. So anyway, so he found it, but I was hurting that whole day, the next day. And so I just took a muscle relaxer and just said, you know what, I'm going to be toast for a while. So anyway, so not much stitching. So that's all I have for you guys today. Thank you so much for coming. Again, we are just praying that things in the Ukraine settle down. It breaks my heart when I see the pictures of everything coming out. So, you know, keep Ukraine in your prayers. We're expecting some bad weather, supposedly, when they said expect tropical storm weather. And we're not in tropical storm season, I don't think. When is that? I think that begins in April. So it's a little early. But it's not a tropical storm. It's just tropical storm weather. Anyway, Louisiana. So that's all I have. I will see you guys next week, Lord willing. And y'all have a great week. Bye. Gotti. Gigi. Come on, baby. Baby, you can open the door. Come on. You gonna come? Come on. You gonna sit there and stare at me? Come on, baby. You can do it.